And for those who haven't wasted their college career and student loans taking liberal arts classes, modernism is over and has been over since basically World War II. So this is a callback to modernism. Modernism sort of ended in the 50s, and you had this sort of writing style that was called postmodernism, which Thomas Pynchon in America. And
Don DeLillo is what they taught when I was in class.
Don DeLillo, yes, Don DeLillo. And basically it's a form of cynicism, whereas modernism was saying the world sucks and we need a very robust and complicated literary tradition to combat, or artistic tradition to combat the world that sucks. Postmodernism was like everything sucks, everything's a bullshit system.
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of, there is no truth. It kind of, I mean, we're really glossing over what these terms mean, but just go to college for that shit.
Go waste your time in college. But essentially, it's a cynical philosophy and worldview.
We could have disagreements about that, but then that gets to what you mean by cynicism.
Well, I guess I mean that you believe that the world can't get better and that there's no point in trying because it's a fool's errand.
But I wouldn't say that is what postmodernism. I'd say a lot of postmodern writers might argue that.
In a text earlier this week, you summed it up actually a little tidier than that, which is just like modernism is the true. And postmodernism is shenanigans. So for the sake of this podcast, let's just keep that in mind when we're talking about.
My thesis is that modernism never stopped, and that we still needed the things that modernism was built to fight, the things that Virginia Woolf and all of the even philosophers, basically modernism is Marx. I'm just let the cat out of the bag here. Modernism is Marxism and Freudianism mixed in with a worldview, and postmodernism is it basically comes from the disillusionment of the Soviet Union and all of these sort of things. But it's also sort of shenanigans, and that I think that what I'm compelled by Alan Moore at this time in history after the start of Hell World is, now that we live in Hell World, I think that Alan Moore sort of highlights that modernism had a place and that he's doing something and saying something about the world that could help you.
Right.
In a way that I don't think that Don DeLillo, I think that Don DeLillo would think that if you read Underground and that helped you, you're a simpleton. Like, I think that's what Don DeLillo.
Yeah, I mean, postmodernism decided to argue that truth was completely subjective, and that and it could vary completely according to and
that was my understanding. Well,
whoever has the power it creates truth.
Yeah, I mean, but again,
that means that it's subjective and can change. I think that Alan Moore doesn't believe that.
No, even if he believes in the that the difference between truth and fiction is permeable, he still believes that there is like a truth to come to, kind of mysticism.
Yes, and this sort of call to spirituality and community.